Before we get started, are you an entrepreneur struggling with low energy, poor sleep, and waking up exhausted, hindering your path to success? Well, I completely understand how that feels because I've been there too. I'm Jeffrey Mort, and I founded our virtual private wellness practice, Love Energy Wellness LLC, just for people like you. Introducing our unique solution, the Sleep and Energy Health Reset Program. Say goodbye to exhaustion and restless nights. Unlike other programs, our at-home functional medicine lab testing, along with clinically proven natural health protocols, will reset your body, reignite your energy, and transform your life with sustainable results. As a certified Level 2 integrative health practitioner specializing in energy and performance, this affordable sleep and energy system has already helped thousands of entrepreneurs just like you achieve their goals. But there's limited space this month, and with the $397 bonus package, this offer won't last forever. What do you hope to gain by waiting to work on your energy and performance? Schedule your complimentary consultation now and take that crucial step towards your success. Don't let low energy and poor sleep hold you back any longer. Visit loveenergywellness.com to secure your spot today. Your journey to vitality starts here. Now enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another mind-bending voyage through the corridors of consciousness on breaking boundaries. I'm your guide, Jeffrey Mort, and today we plunge into the depths of a realm where imagination dances with reality. A delicate waltz that echoes in the aspirations of those yearning for more in life. In this episode, we confront the myths that shroud our understanding of health, love, spirituality, abundance, and prosperity. Drawing from the science and experience, we embark on a journey to unravel the intricate tapestry of our desires and dreams, while questioning the boundaries between what we envision and the tangible world we navigate. Get ready to challenge your perceptions as we dissect the illusions that often obscure the path to fulfillment and illuminate the profound connections between the ethereal and the concrete. This is Breaking Boundaries, where imagination takes flight, reality takes form, and the intersection of the two unveils the secrets to unlocking a richer and more meaningful existence. Hello, I'm Jeffrey Mort. If you're like most entrepreneurs, you're busy taking care of business, yet who's taking care of you? If you're ready to take your energy and performance to the next level in your life and your business, then this podcast is for you. Because today, you're going to start breaking boundaries of your mind, body, and business with integrative health. And when you do that, your possibilities are limitless. I'm grateful you're here. Yes, my friend, always grateful for you joining me here today. Welcome to another mindful episode of Breaking Boundaries podcast. This is episode number 31. And as always, you'll want to stay to the end when we bring it all together on how to avoid failure and reach that next level of success with integrative health. And for all the show notes and links, visit jeffreymort.com and click on the podcast button. Big shout out to our international listeners today, our listeners in Germany. We have listeners in Singapore and listeners in the United Kingdom. We appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. So today you're going to discover all about imagination versus reality. And we're going to be unraveling the myths for those of you seeking more in life. Maybe you're seeking more health. Maybe you're seeking more love. Maybe you're seeking more spirituality, or perhaps it's abundance and prosperity that you seek. So how much influence do we really have over the circumstances of our lives? And, you might want to question, how much influence do we have over things like our immune system, things like chronic illnesses that we may be experiencing? Things like lifespan, those are all related to health. And what about influencing the circumstances when it comes to our relationships, either with our spouse or our partner, could be with our children, or our families or friends, or maybe even our relationship with ourselves? What about influencing the circumstances of our financial situation? Things like our consumer debt, things like good debt, right? You can have debt that actually earns you money, makes you money. Your income, or just your overall potential for creating, a better financial situation. Do you really have influence over those circumstances? And then things like religion, whether or not you believe in God, or whether or not you go to church, or contrary to that, not contrary, but separate from that would be, spirituality. Things like self-realization. How much influence do you have over the circumstances of self-realization, or tapping into the quantum field, tapping into that energy of the universe, or tapping into the unity of life, all life forms. So whatever your belief system is, I completely support you without judgment. So we're really taking an unbiased perspective here today on imagination versus reality. So some of the common myths surrounding the power of imagination is that imagination is only for creative activities. And, a very common myth surrounding the power of imagination is the belief that it is only relevant or beneficial in artistic or creative pursuits. In reality, imagination plays a crucial role in various aspects of life beyond the arts. It's a cognitive ability that helps in problem solving, helps in innovation, helps in critical thinking. Imagination is essential in fields like science and technology, especially in business, where envisioning possibilities and thinking outside the box are key to progress and success. Now, just take a look around in your everyday world, wherever you are right now. If you're at work or if you're driving, like everything that you see in your existence began with somebody imagining the creation of that, whether it's the vehicle you're driving, the road you're driving on, the device that's mounted to your dashboard or in your pocket or in your hand that you're actually listening to me on, the headphones that you may have in your ears. Like all of these possibilities were created through imagination. Somebody imagined them and then developed them through things like science and technology for a particular business model. Now, another myth is that imagination is just simply for children. Another prevalent myth is that notion that imagination is something that only children possess and engage in during play. While it's true that children often have vivid imaginations, and that's usually because as they approach adulthood, adults usually squeeze that imagination out of the children and tell them to, grow up, stop acting like a child, act your age, and all these things. And what does that do to that imagination? It gets tucked away in, the toy box of life that eventually we outgrow. And it's so unfortunate that, some parents take that approach, or, it's not just parents, but it's more so society, I guess. So, while it's true children have vivid imaginations, the capacity for imaginative thinking persists throughout adulthood as well. In fact, adults use imagination in different ways, such as envisioning future scenarios or strategizing, and simulating various outcomes. It remains a very valuable cognitive tool for lifelong learning, adaptation, and personal development. So try not to lose touch with your inner child. Dismissing imagination as something exclusive to childhood overlooks its ongoing importance and benefit in cognitive functioning and problem solving at all stages of life. Now, I'm not entertaining the idea that just simply positive thinking alone can shape our reality, but any thinking whatsoever, wherever your attention is directed and your intention, wherever your intention is directed, will create what you want in life. And we talked a little bit about this when in episode 27 we spoke about the law of attraction and its limitations, how the thought process when applied to the law of attraction coming from a place of lack or scarcity or fear can actually drive away what you are intending to attract. But it's the thought process coming from those places of lack that is getting you more of what you don't want. And that's because your attention is placed on not having it. And you can go back. I know I linked up episode 27 in the last mindful podcast that we did, the mindful episode. And 27 was 2 episodes ago on Monday. So you can go back and check that out. I won't link it up again today. You know where to find it. But my point here is that you get what you think about, whether you like it or not. You've heard me say this before. So I encourage to, your curiosity. Let me start that over. I encourage your curiosity by asking, is imagination alone enough? And Albert Einstein thought so, because he said that imagination is life's preview, is a preview of life's coming attractions. Imagination is a preview of life's coming attractions, is, I believe, the way he said that. And that is very, very powerful. And even Albert Einstein and other scientists of his day, and they would actually take time to sit down or meditate or think and let thoughts come to them, especially in dream time. Dream time is a very, very powerful tool. Eventually we'll do an episode on the power of dream time. But the inventors of the day, they used to harness the power of their imagination to be able to bring things to reality. And this ties into findings of modern day science, like neuroscience. So let me give you some insights from neuroscience on the brain's response to imagination. The brain has something that's called plasticity, and its learning ability, its ability. Well, imagination, it's closely tied to neuroplasticity. So that means the brain's ability to reorganize itself in response to experience. And if you go back, we did an episode on neuroplasticity. You can listen to that again. Engaging in imaginative activities such as learning through visualization or creative problem solving can promote neural plasticity and facilitate learning. It can actually create new neural networks in the brain. And the role of the brain in processing thoughts and influencing behavior, as of my knowledge, there really isn't scientific evidence supporting the idea that the brain is a receiver and transmuter of energy, not a transmitter, but a transmuter. So receiving and transmuting that energy, converting that energy that it's receiving in the way that some metaphysical or pseudoscientific theories suggest. The mainstream scientific understanding of the brain is based on neurobiology, which explains brain function in terms of neurons, synapses, neurotransmitters, and electrical signals. These are all things that are certain in science. The brain does process information and electrical signals, but these processors are well understood within the framework of sciences like neuroscience. Neurons in the brain communicate through electrical impulses and chemical signals, and the complex interaction between or among these elements give rise to cognitive functions and specific behaviors. But while there are ongoing scientific investigations into the brain and consciousness, attributing the brain's functions to a metaphysical receiver of energy and information, it's not really supported by empirical evidence or widely accepted in the scientific community. It's essential, though, to distinguish between scientific research and speculative, or I don't even like the word pseudoscientific claims, but we'll just go with that for now. Scientific inquiry relies on rigorous evidence, experimentation, and peer review to establish and refine our understanding of the physical world. But what about the non-physical world? Imagine for a moment that the limiting beliefs of science were keeping those subscribers from receiving the information in the form of thought that could potentially advance humanity and the collective consciousness. Now, I'm just being devil's advocate here and giving the other side of the science coin, so to speak. Every coin has actually three sides. It has heads, tails, and the edge where, somewhere on that edge lies the truth. So let's highlight the brain's distinction between imagined scenarios and real experiences. It simply doesn't know the difference. And to prove my point, just look at virtual reality. It can seem so real. If you've ever strapped one of those headsets on, especially the high-end ones, it momentarily tricks the senses and the brain, right? The brain is nothing but a receiver of information from the five senses. So when those five senses have an input of virtual reality, it tricks the brain into a new level of perception or reality. And I'll tell you, when you add sound and feeling into that, it's an actual reality. It is a virtual reality. So let's bust the myth here that mere positive thinking can reshape neural pathways. While the idea that positive thinking can reshape neural pathways is often discussed in like self-help and popular psychology literature, it's important to note that the scientific evidence supporting this claim is also not as straightforward as it might seem. While there's research on the broader impact of thoughts and emotions on neuroplasticity, which again is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming those new neural connections, the specific concept of mere positive thinking and its direct influence on reshaping those neural pathways, it's a very complex and debated topic. One study that does touch on the relationship, though, between positive thinking and the brain structure is actually titled "Meditation Experience is Associated with Increased Cortical Thickness." And it was done by authors Lazar, Kerr, and Wasserman, and others. And it was published in Neuro Report back in 2005. And in this study, the researchers investigated whether meditation, which often involves cultivating positive mental states, could lead to changes in brain structure. And the findings suggested that individuals with extensive meditation experience had actually increased cortical thickness in areas associated with attention and sensory processing. Now, it's also important to note that meditation involves more than just positive thinking. It often includes focused attention, mindfulness, and other mental practices. And additionally, this study doesn't specifically address the impact of mere positive thinking without a structured practice. And this is why having a mindset coach in your corner can be very beneficial for creating sustainable change in your life. Now, let's introduce, as I typically do in these Mindful Monday episodes, introduce hypnotherapy as a tool for harnessing the power of imagination. So there's lots of relevant research on the effectiveness and efficacy of hypnotherapy. You can find that over on our hypnosis page at loveenergywellness.com/research. I will link that up today in the show notes so you can check that out. Plenty of scholarly articles over there for the efficacy of hypnosis. But let me explain how hypnosis can influence the subconscious mind. And it does this through relaxation. And many people think that hypnosis is all about relaxation, but it's more, that is part of it. That is one of the steps to getting into trance, but it's more about directing thought and utilizing that imagination and visualization as well. For those people that have a difficult time visualizing, there are different tests and different steps that we can take to shift them into a better capacity to be able to visualize things, but using the imagination and opening up to a heightened sense of suggestibility. And, one of the myths on subconscious reprogramming, one of the myths on hypnosis is that people are afraid that they'll do something against their free will. And I'm here to tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. There is no way that hypnosis can get you to do something against your free will. Now, if you're willing to do something that's out of character for yourself, well, that's certainly a different story, and that's how some of the stage hypnosis practitioners get the the notoriety that they do. But there is a much better use for hypnosis than comedy shows and stage hypnosis, and nobody can be forced to do something against their free will. A good example is if you're not the kind of person that would go and rob a bank, you cannot be hypnotized to become a bank robber. It just simply doesn't work that way. But there's a connection between the imagination and hypnotherapy and shaping one's reality. And that connection between imagination and hypnotherapy and shaping reality lies in the intricate interplay between the mind, which is different than the brain now, the mind and the person's beliefs and the power of suggestion. So, a real life story that reflects the nuance between imagination and reality that I can attest to was the home that I actually live in. I've been living here for 20 years, and this home that I live in was created by my imagination, and not just my imagination, but my spouse at the time, and our collective imagination on what we wanted for our future lives. And there were so many people, as I would talk about the home that I wanted to build to raise my family, other people would tell me that, don't do that. That's crazy to take that big leap. Find a starter home, or find a rental property, or find a fixer-upper. Don't try to build your dream home right off the bat. And those people were honestly, inadvertently crushing my hopes and dreams. But I chose to block that all out and not listen to them. And I stayed focused with my attention and my intention on the reality that I wanted. And I could see all the components coming together for me. In my mind's eye, using my imagination, I could see all those coming together. And lo and behold, those components started falling into place for me. And the more they fell into place, the more momentum that the project gained. The more the finances fell into my hands to be able to do this, the more people that I met that were able to help me to make this dream a reality. And within a very short time, so within 9 months, less than a year, I had gone from creating this vision to standing in with an occupancy permit in the home that I had envisioned for our family. And myself and my children still live in that home to this day, and I appreciate that. I'm so grateful for it. And I remember the sequence very often to remind me of how my imagination created that reality that I'm still part of, that I'm still living in. And it was absolutely amazing. So I love telling that story. So there is importance in the balance of acknowledging both internal and external influences, while not falling victim to circumstance. Now, back to my story in my home, I could certainly have let those other influences, right? These people that were older than me, or maybe got to where I wanted to be through, a 100-step process. And here I was trying to bypass those 100 steps and do it in 3 steps. And they were all trying to talk me out of it. I wasn't falling victim to those external influences, nor internal influences letting my own doubts and fears get in the way, because, your creation that you want to make for yourself is like, it's like putting up a house of cards. And I believe I talked about this in a previous episode, and your doubt and fears can be like a brisk wind that knocks that house of cards down. So you don't want to fall victim to circumstance. So wrapping things up here, I want to give you a 3-step process here and introduce that to you. If you're seeking more in your life. And step number one is having self-awareness. I mention awareness a lot in the Breaking Boundaries podcast, and it is really step number one for so many processes. But understanding your thoughts and your beliefs, especially your limiting beliefs. This is the being part of the process. And understanding, who are you being with your thoughts and your belief system? Are you being somebody that's limiting yourself? Or are you being somebody that is not falling victim to circumstance? And then next, actionable steps, taking intentional actions that are aligned with your goals and your dreams and your vision, your imagination, such as using the power of your imagination and the power of your subconscious mind to get what you want in life. Now, this is the doing part. You're taking actionable steps. The first part was being, having self-awareness and understanding what type of person that you're being. And the next is actionable steps of doing. And then the third part of the process is, consider exploring some of these tools, these complementary tools, such as hypnosis or hypnotherapy, to accelerate your results and finally get what you want in life, whether that's getting better health in your life or getting more love in your life or connecting spiritually with your higher self or bringing in, getting more abundance or getting more prosperity into your life. This three-step process can help you do that, right? Being that type of person and having self-awareness of your thoughts, doing the actionable steps, taking that intentional action that's aligned with your goals, and then getting what you want in life by utilizing the integrative tools that are at your disposal, such as hypnosis. So to, tie it all together into a key point, imagination is a very powerful tool when coupled with intentional action to create the reality that you want. So again, your mind, your brain does not know the difference between between make-believe and reality. So why not, I'm not saying that, make believe that you don't have to pay your bills anymore, but absolutely you can imagine how it feels. Feeling is the work. Imagine how it feels to have those things that you want in life. Imagination, it's a very, very powerful tool when coupled with intentional action. So I encourage you to explore the benefits of hypnosis for yourself. You don't have to believe me. You can experience for yourself. We have an application process for our neurotrust method of hypnosis, and we also offer free 90-minute consultations if that's something you're interested in. As always, you can find that in the show notes, and I'll link up the research that I mentioned in today's program. And I just want to express my gratitude for you tuning in to the Breaking Boundaries podcast. And on our next episode, we're going to be talking about the one thing you can do at home in 20 minutes that has so many benefits that if it were a pharmaceutical pill, it would be a $1 billion overnight success. You're not going to want to miss it. You're going to love this next episode. So I'm grateful for you listening. Don't forget to please subscribe to the show and share with anybody that you feel it could serve. And leave me some feedback. Leave a review for the Breaking Boundaries podcast so we can help more people. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Before we say goodbye, you may not have realized it, but you can get free daily access to our thriving Love Energy Wellness community and support group where you'll join health-conscious entrepreneurs just like you. I know you're concerned about your health, energy, and performance. That's why I personally answer your questions daily, invite you to our weekly live calls, and share pro-wellness tips for energy and performance and exclusive offers just for our community members. This is also your support hub when we gather every 90 days for a total body and mind reset, also known as the world-renowned Dr. Cabral Functional Medicine Detox Protocol. You're going to love the way you feel every time. So if you're the kind of entrepreneur that values your health as your greatest asset, naturally you'll want to join and invite your friends, your family, and your colleagues to our community where you'll feel loved, supported, seen, and heard. Visit loveenergywellness.com to join the community, or the link is also right here in today's show notes. I'll see you soon.